Oh, the fragility. Oh my goodness. So I have to be transparent with you guys. This story brings me so much joy, okay? It puts a smile on my face because stories and outcomes like this, there is nothing greater in this life, in this anti-Black America, than to see stories like this that make racists cry. Oh, it's a beautiful thing just to go on Twitter and to see all the anti-Black racists, to see all of them crying and saying this is unfair, this is not right, and we get no justice. Oh, it's honestly a thing of beauty to see this. It really is. Now, for those of you who may be unaware of the story, oh, it's a beautiful story, a great story, I would say. A story that should go down through the years, okay? You should teach your kids about this story. And what the story is a story of Ethan Liming. Ethan Liming was an anti-Black, racist, druggie, and thug. That's what he is. That's all he was. And Ethan Liming, and he was very low IQ, mind you, very low IQ. Unfortunate, but that's who Ethan Liming was. Ethan Liming had no future, none whatsoever. He had such a little future that he decided to go out and terrorize Black people. That's correct. That's what Ethan Liming decided to do. So he decides to get outside with a pellet gun and go around LeBron James' school. That's correct. Predominantly Black kids. And he decides to terrorize these Black kids who are minding their business. Oh my goodness. It's just America in a nutshell, honestly. It's beautiful. The metaphors in this story. These Black kids were minding their own business, playing basketball. And this racist thug, who's also on drugs at the time, gets out of the car and starts spraying these Black kids with a pellet gun. Now, I want you to understand what that could probably mean to someone who's unaware that this is a pellet gun. Because when the prosecutors actually brought a pellet gun to court and squeezed the trigger, and lo and behold, if you are not looking at that toy gun, you would more than likely think it was a real gun.
The Stafford brothers are charged with involuntary manslaughter. Their attorney says they acted in self-defense.
Water bead guns being mistaken for actual weapons. Police say the guns fire Orbeez or water beads. They warn anyone who has one of these weapons, these guns, to be prepared to comply with police.
That's correct. And what they tried to charge these two innocent Black boys with was involuntary manslaughter. That's correct, because what happened to Ethan, what's the term? F-A-F-O? F around and find out? That's exactly what happened to Ethan. That's correct. And that's exactly what should have happened to Ethan. It's a beautiful thing. I wish I could have been there so I could have been cheering them on, because that's exactly what this thug deserved to get. He deserved to get eternal justice. Perhaps, hopefully he was praying and went to heaven. Or perhaps he may be where, the majority of people with the lineage of evil are, in hell, okay? This story is a beautiful story. It's a story of justice, okay? That's exactly what Ethan got. And that's exactly what anyone who tries to engage in anti-Black terrorism should receive. And I'm very shocked at the justice system, okay? Luckily, we had some pro-Black people on the jury. Luckily, thank God. And Black people, you need to see jury duty as a service to your country, okay? As a service to your people. Because had there not been pro-Black people on the jury, these two innocent young men would be locked away for a long, long time due to our anti-Black racist justice system. When it comes to this story, the racist is mad, bro. They are so mad. They screaming, bro. They screaming, and there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. The anti-Black racists are screaming, because one thing I realized, and I came to realize this later on, when it comes to white Republicans, is that white Republicans care about white Republicans. That's correct. That's who they care about. So when it comes to stories having to deal with white people, they will always defend the white person. No matter if they're in the wrong, if they're in the right, it doesn't matter. As long as they're a Republican or a conservative, that's who they will defend. That is the opposite when it comes to black people. In their minds, black people can do no good. It's always guilty, 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 guilty. So when you hear a story like this, you have a lot of instigators and race baiters who love to play the white victimhood card. And the white victimhood card is a golden card to play because it gets you money. That's correct. If you simply say this is a travesty, this is horrible, this is disgusting, well, you got a whole bunch of old white boomers that will throw money at you. Oh, he's one of the good ones. Oh, he's a smart person. Oh, he's an intellectual. Oh, he's a free thinker. And they'll throw their retirement money, their AARP money at you. That's the hustle right now. And that's what they do. If you know anything about the history of this country, that's what they have done to the point in time where they have created a whole ecosystem to make them feel good about themselves. Now, they not only create a whole ecosystem to do that, but if you think about the rules, laws, and regulations that they have passed or attempted to pass throughout history, it screams a sense of inferiority. So this group of evil, racist, inferior people have created a system to try and tell them everything that they're not. Tell them that they're smart. Tell them that they're the smartest. Tell them that they do no wrong. Tell them that they're helping the country. Tell them that they're helping, people all over the world. Everything that they do not do, or in some cases are incapable of doing. That is what they have done. That's what they have created. That is, in a nutshell, what America is to a certain extent, especially in certain echo chambers. That's where we are. That's where we get people trying to say, oh, this is a miscarriage of justice. This is horrible. I can't believe this happened. Because they have been coddled in this country. They have coddled white Americans. And they've coddled everyone else who tries to be in proximity to white Americans, who tries to placate to them. They've coddled them as well. Whereas as far as black people, there is no coddling. Okay, we have been very aware of our position in this country since we got here and up until presently. Because when we have situations like this, they try to rationalize as far as why the white person is innocent. Now, if we were to switch the roles, they would try and rationalize why the black person was guilty. We've seen this time and time again. You can say whatever you want, but I've already seen it. I've seen it with Ahmaud Arbery. I've seen it with Breonna Taylor. I've seen it with George Floyd. I've seen it with Elijah McCain. I can go on and on and on. And I can tell you how these demons try and frame what happened, what transpired, based off the color of the person's skin. That's it. That's it. Because if they can justify January 6th, if they can try and justify Ethan Leming, well, he was a kid. Well, he didn't know anything. Well, it was a toy gun. Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Because you look at, as far as certain issues or events with black people, very differently. You try and justify why someone, the homicide against a black person was justified. You try and rationalize and figure out why the officer was justified in the shooting. I think it's very interesting. The duality of this hypocrisy, of this bipolar schizophrenic response to black people as opposed to white people. Or as opposed to, I would say this, anyone other than a black person. I've seen many of these racists defend an Asian person. Okay. I've seen many of them defend a Hispanic over a black person, even when the person was in the wrong. So you have to understand, anyone and everyone who is upholding this sense of inferiority towards the dominant society, they will be applauded and they will be put on positions of power. Not enough power to make a difference, but enough power so that the person, feels like, they doing something. Anyways, guys, that's a video. Let me know what you guys think. Actually, I really don't care because the story is great. And if you don't agree with it, well, then you're a racist. You're an anti-black racist. It's as simple as that, okay? It's as simple as that. The same people trying to justify or trying to rationalize, well, George Floyd didn't die of that. It was a drug. Well, here we go. We got our white ignorant who was a thug and on drugs and a criminal. And now he gone bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. Ethan Liming was an anti-black, racist, druggie, and thug.